The Mass Rapid Transit, or MRT, is a heavy rail rapid transit system that constitutes the bulk of the railway network in Singapore. The first section of the MRT opened on 7th of November 1987, and the network has since grown rapidly in accordance with Singapore's aim of developing a comprehensive rail network as the backbone of the country's public transportation system, with an average daily ridership of 3.384 million in 2019. As of January 2020, the MRT network encompasses 203 kilometers of route on standard gauge with 122 stations in operation, spread across 6 lines set in a circle radial topology. The network is expected to double to a total length of almost 400 kilometers by 2040 as a result of ongoing expansion works to its 6 existing lines and the construction of 3 new lines. The network is complemented by a small number of local light rail transit (LRT) networks in the suburban towns of the Bukit Panjang, Sengkang and Punggol that link MRT stations with HDB public housing estates, bringing the combined length of the domestic heavy and light rail network to 231.6 kilometers with a total of 159 stations in operation. The MRT is the oldest, busiest and most comprehensive rapid transit system, both by length and number of stations, in Southeast Asia. The system has the added distinctions of having the longest fully automated and driverless network in the world, as well as some of the longest and deepest subway tunnel sections in the world. The MRT is also unique in that the vast majority of underground stations in the network double as purpose-built Singapore Civil Defence Force bunkers and air raid shelters, being built with hardened boundary walls, reinforced concrete floor and roof slabs, and concrete or steel doors for the purpose of withstanding conventional aerial bomb and chemical attacks. On 7th of November 1987, the first section of the North-South line started operations, consisting of 5 stations over 6 kilometers. Within a year, 20 more stations had been added to the network. The direct service was eventually split into the North-South and East-West lines after the latter's completion of the eastern sector to Pasir Ris. By the end of 1990, the branch line has further linked Chua Ku Kang to the network, while the inauguration of Boon Lay Station on 6th of July 1990 marked the completion of the initial system 2 years ahead of schedule. Except for the partly at-grade Bishan MRT Station North-South line, the entirety of the MRT is elevated or underground. Most below-ground stations are deep and hardened enough to withstand conventional aerial bomb attacks and to serve as bomb shelters. Mobile phone, 3G and 4G service are available in every part of the network. Underground stations and trains are air-conditioned, while above-ground stations have ceiling fans installed. Every station is equipped with general ticketing machines, a passenger service center and LED or plasma displays that show train service information and announcements. Most heavy-duty escalators at stations carry passengers up or down at a rate of 0.75 meters per second, which is 50% faster than conventional escalators. The Land Transport Authority announced a plan to introduce dual speeds to escalators along the north-south and east-west lines to make it safer for senior citizens using them. As a result, all escalators on the 2 lines through a refurbishment program will be able to operate at a different speed of 0.5 meters per second during off-peak hours, with completion being targeted for 2021. MRT lines operate from 5:30 am to 1 am daily. Early stages of the MRT's construction paid scant attention to station design, with an emphasis on functionality over aesthetics. This is particularly evident in the first few stages of the North-South and East-West lines that opened between 1987 and 1988 from Geo Ku Kang to Clementi. An exception to this was Orchard, chosen by its designers to be a showpiece of the system and built initially with a domed roof. Architectural themes became more important only in subsequent stages and resulted in such designs as the cylindrical station shapes on all stations between Kallang and Pasir Ris, except Eunos and west of Boon Lay, and the perched roofs at Boon Lay, Lakeside, Chinese Garden, Bukit Batok, Bukit Kambak, Koh Ku Kang, Khatib, Jishun and Eunos stations. Art pieces where present are seldom highlighted. They primarily consist of few paintings or sculptures representing the recent past of Singapore mounted in major stations. The opening of the Woodlands Extension introduced bolder pieces of artwork such as a 4,000 kg sculpture in Woodlands. The artwork for each station is designed to suit the station's identity. All stations on the Northeast, Circle and Downtown lines come under this program. Expo Station, located on the Changi Airport branch on the East-West line, is adjacent to the 100,000 square meter Singapore Expo exhibition facility. Designed by Foster & Partners and completed in January 2001, the station features a large, pillarless, titanium-clad roof in an elliptical shape that sheets the length of the station platform. This complements a smaller 14-meter reflective stainless steel disc overlapping the titanium ellipse and visually floats over a glass elevator shaft and the main entrance. Changi Airport, the easternmost station of the MRT network, has the widest platform in any underground MRT station in Singapore. In 2011, it was rated 10 out of 15 most beautiful subway stops in the world by Boots All. Rolling stock including C151 Kawasaki Heavy Industries, C651 Siemens, C75-1B Kawasaki Heavy Industries and Nippon Sharyo, C151A, C151B, C151C Kawasaki Heavy Industries and CRRC Qingdao Saifang, CR151 Bombardier Transportation, C751A, C751C, C830, C830C, C851E Alstom, C951, C951A Bombardier Transportation, CT251 Kawasaki Heavy Industries and CRRC Qingdao Sifang, CJ151 Hyundai Rotem. At present, all lines run with fixed-length trains between 3 and 6 cars. All train lines have been powered by the 750-volt DC third rail, with the exception of the Northeast line, which is powered by 1500-volt DC overhead lines. The North-South and East-West lines use an automatic train operation system similar to London Underground's Victoria line. All new MRT lines built since the Northeast line in 2003 were equipped with CBTC from the outset and have the capability to be completely driverless and automated, requiring no onboard staffing. New lines and extensions are mostly announced as part of the Land Transport Master Plan, which is announced every 5 years and outlines the government's intentions for the future of the transport network in Singapore. The later plan, the Land Transport Master Plan 2040, was announced on 25th of May 2019, which provides for line extensions to the Downtown and Thomson East Coast lines, a new MRT line under study, and 2 new stations on the North-South line. Stations are divided into 2 areas, paid and unpaid, which allow the rail operators to collect fares by restricting entry only through the fare gates, also known as access control gates. These gates, connected to a computer network, can read and update electronic tickets capable of storing data and can store information such as the initial and destination stations and the duration for each trip. General ticketing machines sell standard tickets that can be used up to 6 times within 30 days from the day of purchase. As the fare system has been integrated by Transit Link, commuters need to pay only 1 fare and pass through 2 fare gates, once on entry, once on exit, for an entire journey for most interchange stations, even when transferring between lines operated by different companies. The operators collect these fares by selling electronic data storing tickets, the prices of which are calculated based on the distance between the start and destination stations. These prices increase in fixed stages for standard non-discounted travel. Fares are calculated in increments based on approximate distances between stations. The ticketing systems uses the EZ-Link and Nets Flash Pay contactless smart cards based upon the Symphony for a e-payment system for public transit built on the Singapore standard for contactless e-purse application system. The EZ-Link card was introduced on 13th of April 2002, while its competitor, the Nets Flash Pay card, entered the smart card market on 9th of October 2009. A card may be purchased at any Transit Link ticket office or passenger service center for immediate use. The card may be topped up via cashless means at ticketing machines and ATMs or via cash at several stations or convenience stores. For tourists, a Singapore Tourist Pass contactless smart card may be purchased. The card may be bought at selected transit-linked ticket offices and Singapore visitor centers. The tourists may retrieve their deposit by returning the card to the ticket offices or visitor centers within 5 days from the date of issue. Total number of stations is 8, 6 in operation, 2 under planning. Total number of stations is 185, 122 in operation, 61 more under construction or planning. Daily ridership is 3.4 million in 2019 excluding LRT, and together they have 3.6 million. Annual ridership is 1.2 billion in 2019 excluding LRT, and together they have 1.4 million. Headway every 2 to 3 minutes in peak hours, 5 to 7 minutes off peak hours. Total system length is 203 kilometers. Average speed of the train is 45 kilometers per hour. Top speed of the train is 80 kilometers per hour. The Light Rapid Transit or Light Rail Transit (LRT) is a series of localized automated guideway transit systems acting as feeder services to the heavy rail mass rapid transit, which together forms the core of Singapore's rail transport services. The first LRT line was opened in 1999 and the system has since expanded to 3 lines, each serving a public housing estate, namely Bukit Panjang LRT line, Sengkang LRT line and Punggol LRT line. Trains on these lines have at least one station linking it to the MRT and in turn the remainder on the LRT network. LRT refers to a medium-capacity rail-based light metro system. The trains on the LRT system are fitted with rubber tires, rather than steel wheels on specially constructed guideways from which its power is also sourced. All cars are fully automated and driverless. The rolling stock are: on the line Bukit Panjang LRT, Bombardier Innovia C801, Bombardier Innovia C801A. On Sengkang Punggol LRT line, Mitsubishi Crystal Mover C810, Mitsubishi Crystal Mover C810A. LRT system length is 28.6 kilometers. It has 41 stations and its daily ridership is 180,000 passengers in 2016.